Hey, what's up guys? It's Cypher from cypherpk.com, and today I am making a video talking about something very important relating to For Honor. So just recently I participated in a 4v4 tournament held by For Glory, and me and my team made it to the finals. If you've watched the past few videos that I've posted on this channel, I uploaded 5 episodes basically highlighting the tournament and some of the matches that we had during that tournament. If you have not watched this series, I highly recommend watching it. It's competitive 4v4 For Honor at the highest level with some of the top players in the game, featuring communication, strategy, different team compositions, and overall really close and intense games. So that being said, this video is going to be focusing on the future of For Honor and also the truth about For Honor. And this is all my opinion, so, just take this with a grain of salt. You can have different opinions, but this is based off of opinions that I've gathered over the past several months of me playing this game at a competitive level, both in 1v1, 2v2, and 4v4, also playing this game casually and for fun. So let's talk about 4v4 for a little bit. In my opinion, 4v4 and For Honor, Dominion in particular, is the future for For Honor. It is For Honor's best shot at appealing to people on a large scale and also appealing to the smaller competitive side of the community. Now, I know people are constantly pushing for 1v1 duels. Even the developers have been pushing for 1v1 duels being the main competitive focus, but I just don't think 1v1 has it. Like, it just does, in my opinion, it does not compare to the thrill, the competitiveness, and the team aspect that 4v4 brings to the table. And I'm just going to mention a few things as to why that's the case. A lot of people complain about the recent 1v1 Hero Series tournaments because there was a lot of bugs on display. There was a lot of stalling, slow, drawn-out fights. This does not happen in 4v4. Now, I would be pretty naive to say that there are no bugs in 4v4 because there are, and people will use bugs and tech in all aspects of the game. But when it comes to 4v4, when it comes to Dominion matches, unlock tech, bugs, they don't play as big of a role in determining the match compared to 1v1s. And even if you do fix all these unlock tech and exploits that people are using in duels, you're still going to suffer from slower, more drawn-out gameplay and cheesy strategy to determine the winner of the match. Regardless of how balanced 1v1 is, regardless of how bug-free the game becomes, people will always resort to the simplest, easiest way to win when it comes to duels in particular. Again, that doesn't mean that there's no cheesy ways to play 4v4. I know some people already have some predetermined ways to play 4v4, predetermined heroes, how you're going to approach it. But after playing 4v4s in a competitive setting on multiple occasions, I can say without a doubt that 4v4 is so far ahead compared to 1v1, compared to even 2v2, when it comes to focusing primarily on the strategy and team gameplay behind the match instead of the tech or the heroes used. 4v4 is the most inclusive game mode because there are characters that are not viable in 1v1, not viable in 2v2, that can work and can shine in 4v4. So 4v4 in comparison to 2v2 and 1v1, it is more inclusive as far as what heroes are competitive. Yes, you're going to have your meta picks like Nobushi, like Peacekeeper, like Warlord. They're always going to be picked. They're always going to be at the top of the list in every game mode. Well, Nobushi, not so much in every game mode, depending on what bugs you use and don't use. But you're going to have your top characters, but in 4v4, it is the most inclusive as far as what heroes are viable, what heroes can you put out there and do well with. More than any other game mode, 4v4 includes more heroes on that list, and less heroes are left behind. So that's just one thing. The second aspect of it is the team gameplay. 4v4s are determined by which team communicates, which team executes, and which team works well together. While the characters you play does play a factor, and how you play also plays a big factor, It's not as apparent when it comes to 1v1. When it comes to 1v1, the character you play and how you play is 80-90% of the match. While in Dominion, it is more determined by how you play as a team and what you're doing as a team and the strategy you apply as a team. So there's more, I don't want to say there's more skill involved, but from a viewer's perspective and from a player's perspective, you never feel like in a 4v4 that you were cheated out of a win. There are some instances, and obviously some feats that could be adjusted, some characters that could be adjusted here and there. The 4v4 is not perfect, but rarely will you feel like you have been screwed and left with no options. There's always a fighting chance, and you feel like when you lose in a competitive Dominion match, and the reason I keep stressing competitive Dominion match, like a competitive, close Dominion match, it is, if you win, it is because of your team, and if you lose, it is because of your team. It is a team effort. The truth is, very few people get to experience what For Honor actually can provide in a 4v4 environment. And you might be wondering, like, you know, the title of the video says the truth about For Honor. The truth about For Honor is that people have, a lot of the player base have yet to experience the fun that could be had from playing For Honor in a competitive 4v4 environment. And when I say competitive, I don't mean just ranked. I just mean like a 4v4 environment where it's you and a few buddies against another group of people, and you're communicating and you have strategy and you're going back and forth, and it's a close match because it's of equal skill and you guys are both trying to win and you're playing the objective properly. People don't get to experience that. When I play For Honor, sometimes I'll mainly queue up for Dominion by myself. I might queue up with one other person, but none of those matches, some of those matches are fun, but none of them give me the feeling that I get when I'm with a team that has practiced, that has strategy, that has certain ways to play, and I'm going against another team who also have practiced. They're also communicating, and they're playing to win as well. That tournament that I had last weekend was the most fun I've had playing For Honor since launch, period. It is the most fun I've had playing this game, and it makes me sad that I can't experience that right now whenever I want to. There has to be a tournament going on. I have to communicate with my team for this to happen. And I know competitive 4v4 is coming in Season 4, but just bringing in competitive 4v4, that might not be enough to really show what this game can offer. So I'm making this video to talk about some of the things. A big point is communication. Currently, a lot of people complain about getting ganked in Dominion, being spawn camped. A lot of the issues that people have in 4v4 comes from getting ganked, getting spawn camped, you know, unbalanced teams, things like that. Or teammates doing something out of the ordinary, or people potentially being AFK, whatever problems you have in 4v4. A big part of the problem is lack of communication. And that's not your fault. It really isn't the player's fault. In my opinion, the For Honor voice chat feature that is currently available, by the way, some of you might not know that there is a voice chat feature. There is a voice chat feature. The voice chat feature is so poorly made and poorly integrated into the game, nobody uses it. It is very rarely used. And I'm talking from PC's perspective. I don't know how things go down on console, but from PC's perspective, the voice chat is highly underutilized because it is poorly integrated and people have to go out of their way to even get it set up. Games like Overwatch, for example, have a really easy built-in voice chat system. You can opt into the voice chat with a click of a button. You can mute specific people very quickly. You can mute yourself. You can unmute yourself. You can mute everybody. So it's simple. It's just a couple clicks, you're in. One click, you're out. One click, you're in. The point I'm trying to make is that because the voice chat in For Honor is so poorly integrated, nobody uses it. And as a result, when you're going into Dominion, in a regular Dominion queue, and let's say you're being ganked and you want to call for help, it's difficult with the built-in feature, the built-in call-out features, or the text chat to call for help. It's a little out of the way compared to just getting on the voice chat and be like, hey guys, I'm being ganked in this location. Please come help. Because when we were playing in competitive Dominion, when we were playing in the tournament, if one of us was getting ganked, or if we noticed the enemy team shifting to a different location to go towards one of our allies, we would call that out. We would call out stuff. We would ask for help when needed. We would communicate. Basically, it's just competitive. We were communicating, and For Honor does not allow for that because the voice chat in For Honor is very poorly made compared to the voice chat that is built into Overwatch, for example. And I'm sure there's other games that have the same example. So that's one big point I want to hit on. Communication is a big part of 4v4 Dominion, and the fact that it is so underutilized because of how poor the voice chat system is something the developers should look into. I think the voice chat system needs to be revamped. It needs to be easier to access before they launch competitive 4v4. So that's the first aspect I wanted to talk about. The second aspect is overall the composition, the team composition, and the competitiveness of a match, how close a match can be. I go back to Overwatch a lot because I play that game quite a bit, but I'm sure there's other examples I can make out of other games as well. But for this example, I'm going to give an example from Overwatch and an example from League of Legends. Now, I don't play League of Legends, but I've watched enough of it to kind of understand what's going on. So here's my example. Let's say you're playing a match of Overwatch, and everybody in your match does not care about winning. The team composition is a mess. You don't have any healers, you don't have any tanks, everybody's playing DPS. Nobody's in voice chat, nobody's communicating, nobody is really playing the objective. How much of that could you take before you got bored and probably turned off the game? Same thing goes for League of Legends. Let's say you join a game of League, nobody's communicating, nobody is playing properly, nobody's running their lanes properly. How many games of that could you take before you just got fed up and, stopped playing? The same thing can be said about For Honor. When you're playing constant matches where either people aren't really playing the objective and they're just trying to kill, or people, let's say it's the launch of a new DLC and everybody on your team is a gladiator, or everybody's a Highlander, and there's no sense of synergy between you and your teammates. Eventually that could get stale and people would kind of stop playing. And it has happened. People have stopped playing for different reasons, but I think a big part of it is the lack of that team aspect, the competitive team aspect. You don't have to have ranked mode for 4v4 to still have a competitive vibe when it comes to Dominion. So I wanna remind people who are watching that this is a perspective of somebody who just likes to play competitive games. Like I will play competitive Overwatch, I'll play competitive fighters, but the thing is, like, some people might prefer a more casual approach to gaming, and that's completely fine. And actually that's supposed to be encouraged in every single game. Because if you didn't have the casual player base, a lot of games wouldn't have a majority of their players. But even people who play casually like to play for something, like to feel like there is some weight to their game when they're playing, some weight behind the win and loss. Even if there's no ranked, you can still have that by experiencing a close Dominion match with you and your teammates, communicating, applying strategy, applying different synergy between different characters. It's there. I promise you, it's there in For Honor. We just need more people to be involved. So one thing I want to do is I want to encourage everybody, if you can, there is there's constant tournaments happening. If you visit the competitive For Honor Reddit or the For Glory Discord, There's always tournaments happening, especially 4v4 has been the recent push. And leading up to the 4v4 ranked mode, which is coming in season 4, I'm sure there's going to be other people jumping in to create 4v4 tournaments. I recommend that if you're watching this video and you want to give it a try, go talk to your friends, try to form groups, try to practice against other people, try to enter these tournaments, even if it's just for fun. Like most of these tournaments, 99% of them are free to enter, no hassle at all. Just enter these tournaments, compete, and try that aspect of For Honor. I promise you won't regret it. You'll see a different side of the game, and you'll see a more competitive and a more enjoyable side of the game that you might have not gotten the chance to see. Thank you guys so much for watching. I just wanted to talk about this. It's a very important topic that was on my mind for a while, and I felt like making a YouTube video about it. Sorry if I rambled on for too long. I tend to do that, especially when I'm not, really reading a script or anything. But nevertheless, I hope you enjoyed the video in the background. That is just some competitive 4v4 from last weekend's tournament. My name is Cypher. Comment down below with what you think and share this video with your friends. And leave a like and subscribe for more For Honor content. I will see you guys next time.